The Prime Minister of Somalia, His Excellency Hassan Ali Khaire, received UK Prime Minister. The Standing Committee for the House of the People discusses the prioritizing agendas for the 4th parliamentary session. ISIS leader in Afghanistan has been killed in air strike, says US military officials. Hello, welcome to the details of our news. My name is Ali Abdulkader Ali. The Prime Minister of Somalia receives UK Ambassador to Somalia, David Williams, at his office in Mogadishu. His Excellency Hassan Ali Khaire, the Prime Minister of Somali Federal Government, has today on Monday received the UK Ambassador to Somalia. The two sides discussed bilateral ties between the two countries. A higher-level delegation from Sudan visited to Mogadishu today that led by Sudanese National Intelligence Director Salah Abdallah Mohammed.
A high-level delegation from Sudan visited to Mogadishu today that led by Sudanese National Intelligence Agency Director Salah Abdallah Mohammed. They were received by the Director of Somali National Intelligence and Security Agency for the Government of Somalia, Usman Hussein, and hold bilateral talks between two sides. During a high-level meeting focused on how to strengthen ties and cooperation between the two organizations in terms of security sector and exchange of intelligence service for the two. The Sudanese government is one of the most prominent states supporting Somalia, precisely the armed strengths and other developmental projects.
The Standing Committee of the House of Representatives for the Somali Parliament had today discussed the prioritizing agendas for the 4th parliamentary session. The Standing Committee for the House of the People of Somali Federal Parliament had today on Monday held a meeting on submitting the agendas to discuss at the opening 4th parliamentary session of the Council. The meeting was chaired by the second Deputy Speaker of Somali House of Representatives, Honorable Mahad Abdullah Awad, while the members of the Commission presented the timetable and the prioritized agendas to be focused on the initial meeting for the Council. Briefing the media, Honorable Muhammad Abdullah Hassan pointed out that they have discussed on many issues relevant to the workers of the House of the People and how these activities in the Parliament should be revitalized. In his speech, Honorable Muhammad Abdullah said that the committees of the Council are needed to speed up to present the laws submitted so far with the help of experts and stakeholders. Somalia signs investment deal with Japan to improve the ties between the two countries.
Director of International Cooperation on Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Dahir Salat, has met with officials from Japan International Cooperation Agency CHISA on future cooperation between Somalia and Japan. Mr. Hassan, who is Japan planned to deal on behalf of Somali government, in a statement, the Somali Minister of Foreign Affairs said is discussed on renewal of the previous agreement between Somalia and Japan. Accounting to Japan, Asian country has contributed about 300 million to the federal government of Somalia, out of which 100 million indirected to security, says 2007. Some of Japan and Norway companies have restarted their operation in Somalia mid this year. The automotive again Motor Toyota Corporation had resumed in operation in Mogadishu after 27 years.
International stories. ISIS leader in Afghanistan has been killed. This comes after operation carried out by the National Army allied with NATO forces in the country. ISIS fighters have been killed in an air strike in Nagarra province, according to provincial spokesman Abdullah Khani in Afghanistan. The air strike was carried out by Afghanistan and coalition forces after receiving intelligence from Afghanistan's National Directorate of Security. The U.S. Force Afghanistan spokesman Lieutenant Colonel Martin Donald confirmed that the U.S. targeted senior leader of designated terrorist organization in Afghanistan. He pointed to the statement by spokesman for Afghanistan President Ashraf Ghani that the head of ISIS called Daesh by the US military in Afghanistan, was killed in the air strike. The UN says Myanmar's army must face genocide charges. The United Nations investigators on Monday called for an international probe and prosecution of Myanmar's army chief and 5 other top military officers.
Some 700 Rohingya Muslims fled northern Rakhine state to Bangladesh after Myanmar launched a brutal crackdown in August last year on insurgents amid accounts of arson, murder and rape at the hands of soldiers and vigilante mobs in the mainly Buddhist country. Myanmar has vehemently denied allegations of ethnic cleansing, insisting it was responding to attacks by Rohingya rebels. But on Monday, a UN-backed fact-finding mission into violations in Myanmar said the country's top military generals, including Commander-in-Chief Senior General Min Aung Hlaing, must be investigated and prosecuted for genocide in the north of Rakhine state.
They are in flagrant disregard of the life, property and well-being of civilians. They are marked by extreme levels of brutality and disproportionality. They are in the pursuit of deeply discriminatory and exclusionary visions, primarily affecting ethnic and religious minorities. This results in the consistent patterns of serious human rights violations and violations of international humanitarian law in Kachin, Shan and Rakhine states outlined in our report.
The mission, which was created by the UN Human Rights Council in March 2017, concluded in a report that there is sufficient information to warrant the investigation and prosecution of senior officials in the Tatmadaw chain of command.
The scale, brutality, and systematic nature of rape and violence indicate that they are part of a deliberate strategy to intimidate, terrorize, or punish the civilian population.
The investigators named Min Aung Hlaing and 5 other top military commanders, adding that a longer list of names could be shared with competent and credible body, pursuing accountability in line with international norms and standards.
Uganda's Bobby Wine granted bail.
Uganda court has granted a bail to Kyadondo. STMB reported Kyagulanyi, also known as Bobby Wine, and his 12 co-accused colleagues who are facing treason charges.
So for the 12 applicants, their applications for bail is allowed. I'll set further conditions so that they don't have to wait in the courtroom. Each of them is to execute a non-cash bond in the sum of 5 million shillings. Each of the sureties as well is to execute a non-cash bond in the sum of 10 million shillings.
Gulu High Court Justice Stephen Moberi on Monday related that Mr. Kyagulanyi did not constitute a flight risk and could keep his passport. The judge also granted bail to area municipality MP elected Mr. Kasioni Wanderi Jemche, East MP, Mr. Paul Mo Nitangoma municipality MP, Mr. Gral Kurahanga, and a host of other political activists. Mr. Wanderi is however, is not allowed to go to area in the next 3 months unless cleared by court, according to Justice Mabero. There were 2 ambulances from IHK and Parliament outside the court to transport the suspects who were allegedly tortured in detention to receive specialized treatment.
That is it from us. Join us tomorrow, inshallah. Until next, have a good time.